It all started with a very simple idea. Tell the stories of how successful middle market CEOs made it to the corner office. I'm Brant Handley, founder and managing director of Resource Options International, or ROI. We're the USA's premier executive search firm focused exclusively on empowering middle market companies to attract, hire, and retain A players while transforming top executives' careers and lives. ROI's Into the Corner office is dedicated to discovering how middle market CEOs advance their career, and we're making these remarkable and sometimes quite unbelievable stories available to you for the very first time. Listen and learn about the challenges they've overcome, the interesting people they've met along the way, and the lessons learned that steered these executives' unique journey into a middle market corner office of their own. I know you enjoy these CEO stories as much as I've enjoyed recording them. So thank you for listening today. And if you like what you've heard, rate us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm looking forward to you joining me on the next great middle market CEO adventure into the corner office. My guest today is Sundu Rathinam, founder, CEO, and CTO of ChainSys Corporation. Sundu was born in Madurai, the cultural capital of India, and received his mechanical engineering degree from PSG College of Engineering. He's a very positive, result-oriented leader with over 25 years of experience with data management, product engineering, product delivery, sales, and branding. ChainSys is a data management company offering their customers a no-code program called Smart Data to solve problems with data migration, setup migration, data integration, and reconciliation, to name a few of the services they offer. Sundu founded the company in 1998 with his older brother, and he's always eager to have a conversation about any data challenges. He lives in Davis, California, and is blessed with a great family, is married, and has a lovely daughter and son. Sundu Rathinam, welcome into the corner office.
Thank you, Brent. Very happy to be with you today.
It's great to have you here. I know we just spoke last week and had a chance to get to know each other, and so excited to have you on the show. We have had quite a few immigrant CEOs, and yours is a particularly interesting story. And we always like to kind of start at the beginning. So tell us a little bit about where you grew up, the early years, what mom and dad did, and brothers and sisters.
Oh, great. I was, born in Madurai, which is, as you introduced, it is a cultural capital of India. It's a pretty tier 2 cities. It's not like a bustling, commercial town or anything like that.
Right.
It has a very large, one of the largest temple exists there, which dates back, thousands of years.
Right.
So,
Hindu temple, I presume. Correct.
So I would go there almost every week or so with dad, mom,
Right.
So my dad was a government servant. He is today 93 years old.
Oh my gosh, still alive. Yeah.
Still running like an young chap, doing a lot of social work.
Fantastic.
And my mom has been putting up with him for all these years.
How many brothers and sisters?
So I got an elder brother who is with me in the ChainSys together, 13 years elder. Right. And I got two sisters in between him and me.
Got it.
And I have one of my sisters. She's a managing director for the overall Asia Pacific and European operations.
Right. Now you grew up in Madurai, right? Was that your home until you went to college?
Yes, that was my home, and knows pretty much every street out there.
Yeah. And what was it like growing up?
We had enough. I was not poor.
Right.
I had very much whatever. We went to the best school. But it is a middle class. It's basically like, my father was a very hardworking person.
Yeah.
And so all the things, and it's a family together. So pretty much your uncles, aunts, everybody are there to give you that helping hand, whatever you need.
And you all kind of lived in the same community, right? You were close by.
It's a big community, yeah. It's a community, and you always feel like you're not, any day you don't feel alone. You're always together.
Nice.
So,
what were some of the early influences, the things that you remember, maybe lessons from mom or dad, or maybe some of your uncles or grandparents?
I think, if I have to look at my father, my uncles, they never had any affinity for money. they were
Yeah,
always
they weren't business people, huh?
yeah, they were not. My father was a government servant, and he's
Right.
doing all kind of work. And the my uncle, he has been a leader for the Gandhian movement.
Oh, right. Okay.
The other, in fact, he was the one who met Martin Luther King when he came to India in 1950s. And he
Wow.
was the one who educated Martin Luther King with all the Gandhian movements and all of that.
Wow. Fantastic. Yeah.
So that is, I just wanted to share because this week is
Yeah.
MLK.
Yes, yes. We're recording this just a day after Martin Luther King Day. Wow. That's an amazing part of your past. So,
And,
were you close to him growing up?
yeah, very close, very
Yeah.
close. Still that
Yeah.
he's still doing really well. Still doing the
That's
same
fantastic.
good,
That's fantastic.
yeah.
And were you a good student in school?
Kind of. I mean, not the very best, but I was always on the probably a little
Yeah.
bit on the top. Yeah,
And
and I always had a
what
great
kind of
love for
activities?
sports.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I used to play volleyball for the district,
Yeah.
our district team, and I put my hands on pretty much because it's a community. We used to have so much fun in the
Right.
streets from the morning till like a late night.
Right. Right. I can imagine. Was cricket popular in the part of
Cricket,
India where you grew up?
cricket was a very popular
Yeah.
game, and we used to play a lot of soccer,
Right.
which is
Sure.
like we call it football, but
Right.
in
Right.
the
Right.
US, it is strictly no soccer. It cannot be called football. It has to be soccer.
Exactly. Now,
But
you'd mentioned that your father was a government servant. Did your mother work from the home or did she work outside the home?
no, my mom was a housewife
That's right.
throughout. A wonderful, wonderful woman, and
Yeah.
who kept the family going. Not just our family, but pretty much the entire, all
Right.
the
Right.
uncles. Everybody looks at her as because she was the
The
very first
matriarch.
daughter-in-law of the
Right.
entire, my
Yeah.
father's family, which was a joint family,
Right. Right.
meaning everybody lived together. That's what it
Now,
is.
you'd mentioned that there wasn't a lot of business or money spoken. Did you have some entrepreneurial inklings early on? Were there things that you did where you kind of knew that business is what you wanted to pursue, or did that come later in life?
No, not really. I didn't know anything about business.
Yeah.
So I was growing as a happy camper. So nothing was strikingly planned or nobody seeded anything into my brain. Nothing like
Right.
that.
Right.
You
But you
just
went on to the College of Technology and got your
yeah.
bachelor's in
Uh-huh.
mechanical engineering, I believe, right? Isn't that
Yeah,
correct?
I did mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
I always have the leadership skills from the very beginning. I don't know
Right.
where I got it, but it was always there. So, I mean, after the engineering, I was working with the CAD CAM, basically CAD CAM, supply chain planning, and all of that kind of
Okay.
stuff. And then later went into the data management world, which is what been doing for the over last 25 years.
Right. Right. Well, you completed your university education in India, right?
Yep.
And but both an undergraduate as well as a master's degree. Did you do both
It
there?
is just an undergrad,
Right.
so 5-year program, which I
5-year
did.
program. Got
Yeah.
it. And then what was kind of the motivation for you to come to the States? When did you do so, and what were the means and determinations around doing so?
My brother was here for a very long period,
Right.
and he has been kind of a role model, and
Sure.
it was not a push from him or anything.
Right. Right.
So multiple opportunities to come over here, and so for work, and I thought, okay, at one point I decided, okay, let me take this opportunity and see the other side of the world. So it
And
was
how old were you at the time?
I was 25 at that
25.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Married already, children, or had you
Not yet.
not
No,
started
no.
that part yet?
25 when I came here, I was 25 years old. And then when I started ChainSys, I was 26.
Wow.
And then I
Wow.
got married the next year, which
Boom,
is
boom, boom.
7.
Oh, very quick. And did your brother? You moved to where your brother was based, I believe, in Michigan, correct? Wasn't that where
Correct,
you
correct. So I
originally
was
went?
always keeping my brother's place as my base.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was literally living with him and traveling to projects and, kind of, we
Right.
started
Right.
ChainSys in Michigan.
Now, was it an idea that you both had together? I know that he's a co-founder, But tell us a little bit around, kind of data management at that time. I mean, it's funny to hear in 2022 talking about data management because it's such a big part of
Yeah.
everyone's, thinking. And I know we're going to talk a little bit more about what the company's doing today. And so many companies need your help because you help them manage their big data. But back in 1998, it wasn't such a big deal, right? Or
Yeah, yeah. I mean, those days data management was, I don't think anybody would be even spelling that word.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly,
I
exactly.
think,
Building,
in 1998, we were doing a lot of, started with the ERP work, enterprise resource planning, because that time was big on Y2K, if you remember.
right? Oh, sure, of
And
course, yeah,
a lot of companies who were interested to implement new ERP products like Oracle, and so I had good experience with Oracle's ERP.
right,
So I
right,
was consulting for many major companies, corporations like Toshiba, General Electric, and Alcoa, and many other corporations in the world. So
yeah,
that was my initial, and when I went in doing all of this, one of the main thing was underlying all these applications. Data was the prime thing.
hmm,
So data becomes a foundation for all these applications or any technology, anything to work in the right way. So that's where I think my inclination on data management started, to be honest. And because all of these data is pretty huge in many enterprises,
right,
and then we started, okay, let's start with a small product, because we had originally a big ERP supply chain planning product that we created. And we had a great success with that product at ChainSys with over 75 customers. Most of the customers are in India.
okay,
We thought, okay, let's try something smaller product that we can penetrate some of the market in North America. So the idea was to create a data product. So we said, okay, let's create just a simple data loader where we
hmm,
can load data from an Excel spreadsheet into Oracle e-business suite, which is Oracle's ERP product.
right, right,
So we created that, and one of the important days, we made the critical decision that initially we created like a static code, and which was like underlying inside bundled with a product, and which is doing all the magic of loading. And we made a decision, we should not have any code involved. There should
hmm.
be static code anywhere.
And you made that decision back in the early days.
Early days. This is like
Wow,
I would say probably 2005, that sort of
wow,
time,
wow,
right?
yeah,
It's about 16, 17 years ago.
yeah.
One of the cold days in Michigan.
And what was tell us around this because this is also a very important part of your story. What was the motivation? Was it just look, we need to make this simpler so that our clients can better understand it? Was it a more efficient way to do it at the time? What were tell
There's
us a little around the
two ways,
thinking.
right? One is creating. Always, I felt organization is meant to create some good work for people to do a fantastic work, go home pretty tired, and be
Right,
happy.
right,
So
right.
that was the main intention. On the other side, unless we cater to something what the customer needs, then it is not going to be a successful venture. So both sides, employees and the customers, have to feel happy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So innovation is the word I would use here, which always connects these two people.
Hmm.
Employees connect too well because they are doing always something interesting, and the customers, they're always looking for some change. So simple thing is you need to put the word innovation on whatever you do
Right.
to keep these two big, basically a leader. I'm supposed to take care of my people, supposed to take care of the customers, both of them happy, and how to connect these two dots.
Hmm.
Full word innovation. That's it.
Yeah. Huh.
So I think it's just organically I just started feeling, and but now I have somewhat very clear understanding of okay, this is what is needed for this customers, this is what is needed
Right.
for employees, some kind of more maturity. Like
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
made a lot of mistakes, no doubt about it, but we were very employee friendly, like a
Right.
more like a family. startup culture is still prevalent within ChainSys.
Right, right.
So that kind of thing.
Now,
But
your brother and you founded the company. He's 10, 12 years older than you. How much older?
he's 13 years
13 years.
older, but you would
Yeah.
say he's younger than me.
Is he actively involved in the business, and did you
Yeah,
both go 100%?
he's one of the most important support system for
Mm,
me to do all these things, and
right.
he is a very intelligent, very intellectual person too. So he gives the right directions and
Yeah.
many important aspects of this company. Yeah.
And when you started the company, was he 100% also in, or was he working another job before he came over and,
He
was
was
full
with the
time?
Unisys when we
Okay.
started. He was part time here. He was
Right.
with Unisys, and I was full time.
Yeah.
And then later, a couple of years, when the project, whatever he was going through, when it got finished, he just relieved out of Unisys and came full time. So
Decided
it
to
was
come
kind
over.
of
Yeah.
from the beginning, we were all together.
Yeah, yeah. And how has that worked out over the years? I mean,
Mhm.
brotherly relationships can be, hot and cold, off and on, so to
It's
speak.
difficult. I mean, with my sister, as I told you, like we still embrace the joint family culture and
Right, right.
feel good about each other. And there'll be always a kind of certain aspects what he thinks I may not like it. So there can be some disagreements, but in essence, we enjoy this entire 23 years. Every single day, what we have gone through together is pretty amazing.
Well, it probably has a lot to do with how you were brought up, right? Because you really had that kind of communal, society and the family being very close and, right,
Yeah,
you learned to live with each other and work with each other quite well.
I think it is the easiest way to live the life because very simple as it's always I feel if you constantly keep thinking what is in it for me in every smallest thing, it is you can't be happy anytime. Instead, if
Right.
you look at from the different aspect, what can you do for others?
Yeah.
Then it makes everything opens up very easily. So it's like
Right.
okay, there is nothing you need. You by default you get everything.
Right.
Anyway you are covered.
Right.
There's nothing for
Right.
you to be worried about. So you don't
Yeah.
have to constantly keep on thinking, what do I want to get more and more and more?
Right. Right.
That is the yeah.
Well, 23 years you folks have been in existence. Tell us just a little bit about what ChainSys does today. Kind of describe perhaps your employee base, approximately what your sales are, but more importantly, kind of the products and how you serve your customers.
So we are today an international company headquartered in Grand Ledge, Michigan, and we have the West Coast operation here in Sacramento.
Hmm.
And we have our global development centers, multiple offices in India, mainly in Chennai, South India, and
Right.
we are starting a huge campus in Madurai, my hometown as well.
Right. Right. That's
And then
nice.
we have operations in Dubai, in Netherlands, Canada, and Singapore. So it's a global organization
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
1,200 totally the data engineers today serving the
Right.
company.
Yeah.
And so we are working towards becoming one of the best. We compete with the best companies in the world within the data management because we solve pretty much end-to-end problems, starting with the complete data integrations or cloud migrations, or you want to look at data archival, look at master data management, data quality, data governance, no-code platform for application development,
Right.
RPA, regression testing, etc., etc. So this is whole gambit. All the innovations were packaged so well together to work and dance together in the nicest one single platform. So that's what we have developed, and this has been rewritten 3 times. And what we have today is completely 100% distributed computing running on the cloud
Mm.
from 2015,
Yeah.
and so we're very very happy about it. But this is today we have great customers like Siemens, Amazon,
Wow.
Salesforce,
Yeah.
but you can go on and on and on. But
Fortune 50, Fortune 100. Huh?
all
Yeah.
of them are there,
Yeah.
and we do have problems in trying to become the best of best. And so we are working on all those interesting problems to get the brand out, get
Right.
the word out in terms of what is our capability, how this can help the customers. So that is a big drive that is currently going on within ChainSys.
Yeah.
And also constant innovation. We have 400 plus strong engineering team,
Wow.
constantly engaged in adding more and more new features, because everything we do is all pretty organic within the organization. We create the product rather than going and buying something from from some other company.
Right.
So
Right.
that is so there's a lot of flexibility. We bring a lot of flexibility to the customers. So that's what customers really love. They
Yeah.
see as kind of a agile and as well very nimble, flexible partner to work with.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure over the last 22, 23 years, there's been some inflection points, right, in your growth and how the business has developed, and probably some difficult times too, where you've had to
Yeah.
make some key decisions. Share with us one or two of those kind of difficult inflection points where, you maybe didn't know if the business was going to survive, or, you knew you had to reinvent something, and, how you kind of fought and worked your way through that.
I'll tell you one thing: we never bought, any external investors into the company,
Right.
and every single thing we invested from our own pocket.
It's all been,
So
organic. Yeah.
it's all everything, and we have
And
a
you
zero.
don't regret that as decision. That's been a good decision for you.
It's a good decision until now, but for branding the product, I think the external investors today, if I have a Google or somebody investing on us, then the market looks at changes in a different way. So,
Right.
but I think it's just the way people react and work. It's a kind of a mindset that
Yeah.
have to change.
Yeah.
But the model, what we did, has truly helped to be staying innovative. No matter there was no influence from anybody
Right.
outside, we could do
Right.
pretty much freely whatever we wanted to do. Right?
But did that create problems? Or were there times when you wish you'd had outside capital to invest?
I cannot say that, because I always feel everybody are divine and great people.
Yeah.
So anybody coming on to this, it's a difficult journey, but we enjoy it. So because if it is not difficult, then what is the point of doing it, right?
Right.
So that's the kind of attitude we have on this. So I know that this is not simple. This is very complex, but we took it step by step. And so today, what we have is a huge asset of these great products, and we need to solve. We can solve in numerous problems, and we wanted to go, step by step,
Yeah.
getting one new customer at a time, and
Right.
giving them that attention and appreciation, respect, all they truly deserve. So
Right.
that's what we do. And but to give you some of the challenges,
Yeah.
I remember in 2008, when there was a financial
Yeah.
meltdown happened.
Right.
There was a little bit challenge with the cash flow and all of that, and just went to our employees and asked for, guys, can we do something about it? And we all talked together and said, okay, let's just take a pay cut.
Mm.
And we all agreed. Nobody had any smallest grudge on it.
Right.
And then we came back strong within a year. And
Yeah.
that is the one point I can remember.
Right.
And then even during the COVID, the same situation happened.
Of course. Yeah.
Probably I should appreciate the government stepping up and helping us out as well.
Yeah.
But I think never had because we were not a big spenders. We always saved the money for the future,
Right.
and so there was something always there to.
Yeah. Always had the piggy bank, right? Had the chestnuts stored away.
Yeah, correct. We didn't work with others' money, and we kept our money safe, and
Right.
that's
Smart.
what we did.
Smart. Sundu, how do you keep yourself sharp? Obviously your brother, I know, has been a huge mentor toward you. You talked about, obviously very smart, and of course having that relationship and having the age between you. But, you've been doing this since you've been 25. Has there been mentors from the outside? Do you read business books? Do you study other companies? How have you kind of kept innovative yourself and kept your management style, always developing?
I can answer with one word, which is wonder.
Mm.
I kept that always
Curious.
alive, no matter what, and accepting my sleep all the rest of the time. For me, changes is I don't know. That's kind of addicted, or I would say it's this is what I have been doing throughout my life.
Right.
And and I have my people, changes my team. They're also more. They kind of breathe and pretty much everything. They sleep and eat this stuff, right?
Right. Right. Yeah.
So constantly we are. If I pick up a call with one of my colleague and keep talking, we'll be talking for maybe throughout maybe 6 hours,
Wow.
and
Wow.
still there'll be we would not have completed the conversation. There's so much to think and talk and
Yeah.
that. So it is innovation driven. There is so much of innovations. We have a blueprint for next 2 years of what
Mm.
designs and things what we wanted to do, still unfinished. So there's so much to think about, but we are trying to also see how effectively we can focus with all of this, because we don't. One side of it is engineering, broadening it, and the other side is market acceptance.
Right.
We
Yeah.
are trying to
Yeah.
see how we can make the market acceptance grow
Right.
for a few of our products, and
Your
then
services.
constantly develop more with
Yeah.
other spaces too.
Do you have a kind of a established management team, kind of down the traditional lines, head of sales, business development, finance? Is it kind of more family members? Who's kind of the executive trust, so to speak? Who are the folks that you talk to the most and kind of rely upon for a lot of the innovation and learning?
So a lot of people in Chainsays, they're all over 15 years
Wow.
been with us. So
Wow.
there's about 200 plus people who have been with us for 15 plus years.
That's incredible. Wow. What an accomplishment. Seriously. Fantastic.
So
Yeah.
that is the unique flavor of Chainsays.
Right. Right.
And
And are they both here as well as in India? Are they in
yeah,
or in
both
all
here and
locations?
worldwide, they're
Yeah,
all the
worldwide.
main people driving it. And we have great leaders from outside also who felt most of the leaders who have come into Chainsays, they would have been either our customers, our partners, somebody who
Oh,
knows about us.
right.
And they feel pretty excited about what is going on here, and
Yeah,
they come and join us. So
that's great. That's great. And have you ever just thought about, again, taking an outside investment, going public, or do you really enjoy having
we are in the
that
process right now.
control?
Yeah, we are in that
Uh-huh.
process too. We got a CFO, Sanjay, who comes from a big financial background, and also he was a CIO at GE.
Okay.
And so he's spearheading that effort of, and as I told you, the branding is a big thing. And for that,
Sure.
one of the critical thing is how much we can, it's like when you run for a governor, how much money you can collect. It's not how good you are.
That's right. Politics is unique in that respect.
The same thing with our companies too. It's like
That's
even though
true.
your company is good, your products are good, you need to show that I can collect this much of money from
Yeah.
outside world.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
said, okay, let me show what we can do. So we are in
Right.
that process too, and then IPO is because we want to, give this back to our employees
Right.
and also back to the community, because that's
Got it.
because whatever you start, it has to end someplace,
Sure.
and without the clean end, nothing is going to be, there is no purpose for start.
Right. Right.
So we want to finish this with the giving it back to the society, giving it
Nice.
back to our employees.
And
That is what is the
so
expectation.
the IPO is planned next couple of years or so, or is
Yep.
it where did
Plan
it start?
for next few years. Yeah,
Yeah.
next
Awesome.
two
Awesome.
years at the most. Yeah.
How would you say your leadership style has evolved from the time that you were, a young 25, just coming over as an immigrant, starting things up to where it is today? Do you think you work with people differently? And if so, tell us a little bit about
I think I have not grown up at all.
that. You're still that curious wonder kid, right?
I don't think I've grown up. I don't, because being last in my family. So
Yeah.
even if I today go back home to Madurai to my mom, she'll say, when even my little nephews or my grandsons and people are there, she'll call me and say, "Can you go get this milk?"
Right. Right.
So it is like it's a different kind of feeling. So I don't feel grown up at all. So it helps me a lot. So I don't
Yeah.
feel growing old, but I take lots and lots of decisions. I love it. So
Right.
I can solve any as I told you, it is I don't put myself in the more of a what is in it for me. Rather,
Hmm.
try to think about how this can help somebody, and the decisions comes out very naturally. Uh, so it's not a big deal at all. Yeah.
How would you best describe the company culture at ChainSys?
It's a family culture,
Yeah.
very vibrant. Everybody is a brotherhood and basically sisterhood. Everybody loves each other, and we don't go behind the talk about somebody else.
Right. Right.
There is no political element here, so it's all very easy. No fear. People can come and learn as much they want. Sky is the limit for learning here,
Yeah.
and because there's so much of technology which we have created, and we are constantly creating as well, so there's so
Right.
much to learn from people here. And they're all pretty pretty open hearted in kind of sharing all the knowledge. So it is a very vibrant,
Very collaborative.
yeah,
Yeah.
very collaborative and very liberal, kind of from day one. I don't know how it formed.
Right.
It just formed like that.
Right.
We
Right.
didn't push. We didn't have, as I told you, I didn't have anything like this is how
Yeah.
it need to happen or nothing. It just happened like this.
Yeah.
But it's also a role. It's an example setting, right? Because till date, every one of us, from the top to bottom, everybody is hands on.
Right.
Uh, Nobody is hands off. Like can code, like whatever. Everybody can get into any level that you want. So that enables it's like a more participative management style.
Sure. Yeah.
Not like a more sitting inside trying to craft something big, something. I don't know what,
Right. Right.
but it's all together. So whatever, I'll go brainstorm with everybody in the floor, what their expectations, what should we do, and things. It's a lot of brainstorming. I love that word,
Mm.
brainstorming, which
And
is what
everybody's got an equal voice. Everybody has an
everybody has a
opportunity.
great
Yeah. Yeah.
great
Yeah.
ideas. And particularly, I don't know how this brain works, but it is amazing when you talk to somebody, your brain opens up a lot.
Mm. That's true. Yeah.
So you need to do that a lot. And
Right.
you can't just think by yourself and come up with a great idea. Sometimes it
Yeah.
happens too, when you put your what do you want to talk, like I'm talking to you as a good brother. And so that's how I sincerely feel you as a brother,
Yeah.
and trying to share whatever I can. Hopefully,
Yeah.
many of my colleagues have been asking me, you should write it out before you forget all this, all the things, whatever. Said yes, we'll do that.
Well, we're recording some of those good sayings here too, so this could be a start of that.
Yeah,
What?
that's what excited me, Brent. I thought, okay, this will be, because I felt you have a great voice. I loved it. And so I said, okay, let me talk to somebody, because I enjoy people having that kind of a strong voice. And that's what excited me and
Interesting.
got me in here.
Cool. Great. Well, you've hired a lot of people. You've got 1,200 employees, I think you mentioned globally. And
Yeah.
what do you look for when you're making bets in the people you invest in and hire, Sundu?
Well, come again, and what do I
What do
bet?
you look for? What are the qualifications you look for?
Oh,
How do you
qualification.
make those decisions in terms of hiring the people, particularly the ones that you're going to work closely with?
Oh yeah, I look forward to a lot of important thing is I look for people who are able to uh, for different aspect. Let's look at technology. Technology is something where people should be able to participate quite well,
Right.
right? And so such people are the ones whom we need. And most of the time, we constantly recruit few hundreds of people from the best universities and all of that,
Right.
and even unknown universities too. We don't only select from the best schools; we select from everywhere.
Hmm.
And we have a great 6 months training program, and we create these resources from bottom up to become the best. And they perform at a different level than you can ever get out of even an experienced guy from the market recruited. So
Mm.
it's a different experience that we go through. And for the executives and things which we do not know, right? There are many things which we do not know how to do. like branding or something like that,
Right.
we look for some real experts. Many times we also try to find some organizations who have some depth of knowledge in that.
Right.
Try to kind of team up, collaborate with them to do that.
Yeah. What do you like to ask when you interview people? What's your favorite questions?
My favorite question, I'm very quick in assessing people. I
Yeah.
don't spend more than 5 minutes on any call.
Wow.
So with couple of I look for their energy.
Uh-huh.
Because
Right.
finally it all boils down to energy, because every day you can't find whether somebody is that the right guy or
Right.
right girl or
Right.
whatever. So it is about energy, what energy somebody brings to the table, and with a couple of questions, you will be able to figure that out and then make that decision.
Yeah, yeah, cool. What about the future, looking ahead, particularly with COVID and the issues that's had? Do you think there'll be some changes? I mean, it sounds like you run a fairly remote organization. Have you become more remote over this period of time, or
There
less?
is
Or
a remote, and because we are, as I told you, it's a very organic organization. We kind of coach people together, and we are always there for each other. So the COVID has created a little bit of a distance with
yeah,
all the people.
yeah,
But I think it's a lesson for, because earlier the problem will be only in a, far off, let's say a country in Africa, a country in Asia, or somewhere somebody is facing this problem. And I feel this has leveled the world
yes,
pretty flat.
yes,
And
yes,
I hope my learning on this is always anything can happen to a human, and we need to be very humble and easy on a daily basis.
mm,
So we got to be stay grounded. That's the most
right,
important message.
yeah,
If I
yeah.
have to,
Stay humble.
yeah.
Yeah,
And every day is very divine,
mm,
created for you, and use the best out of
mm. I love it. I love it. Well, Sundu, you've been very, very generous with your time. We always have one last question, and
it.
we ask all our guests, and that's, what career and life advice would you give someone? Maybe like an immigrant like you, maybe 25 years old or 30 at the time that you came, and what would you say to them if they had their eyes on, being an entrepreneur like yourself? What's the secret sauce?
Uh, okay. I think the never give up is one of the, because I'm just telling you, like I asked many of my colleagues, what made you to stay with us,
Right.
right? What made you to stay this long with us and all that? And only even when the investments were not creating any big opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
I kept on investing.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was not a single day we would be backtracking on anything, any decision.
Hmm.
So it's put it like you have to have confidence in what you do,
Yeah.
and also you need to be. That is easy to say that, but in practice it's very difficult.
Right.
And
Right.
never giving up is like you're constantly holding the fort without
Yeah.
falling, and you're kind of you're the commander in chief. No matter whatever attack, whatever things comes, you're going to not let anybody come into the fort.
Right.
So
Right.
kind of making the team protected and happy,
Hmm.
taking that first shot on you, no matter whatever the shot is. And
Right.
that is very important. If that's beautiful too. That experience is beautiful. Once you go through that, it is so fantastic. But in an essence, I would say you need to be confident in making decision, no matter whether it is good or bad, and also never give up on what is because people are going to be so excited. Their life depends on what you are going to make a decision
Right.
sometimes. And in the whole 23 years, I can make very clear, not a single person have been fired inside.
Mm. Wow.
So that is also another thing in society. People say, oh, we fired this 1000. I've seen how much their family
Hmm.
through pain.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, you called this person as a colleague just a day ago, and you now ask him or her to leave. What is the point?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, that's quite a
So,
great track record.
yeah, there is all this, artificially do not do anything.
Yeah.
Do everything with the truthfulness, and things will be much better, much more happier.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Sundu, founder, CEO, and CTO for ChainSys Corporation, thank you so very much for sharing your story into the corner office.
Appreciate, Brent. Thanks for having me in today. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Into the Corner Office with Brant Hanley. We hope you enjoyed hearing our guest CEO story as much as we did. If you want to hear more CEOs reveal their journey into the corner office, please subscribe via iTunes and tell your friends and colleagues. For more information about Brant, Resource Options International, and the mighty middle market, visit www.goforroi.com. We look forward to having you join us for our next episode.